boss. So I'm calling back. Worth it, bitch. That's just worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. You could tell me if you purchased a new spot. You could tell me if it's worth it or it's not. You could tell me if you work it or you're not. You could tell me if you search it or you're not. You could tell me if you hurt it or you're not. You could tell me if you nervous or you're not. You could tell me if you twerk it or you're not. Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? Merry go round, there's going down. This is only the beginning, not the ending. No, you ain't waiting to leave. I like to be in the back of the party, be proud, making a scene. I am an angel when I'm listening to y'all thoughts like I can't intervene. No, I ain't playing no sports, but I'm always involved in making a team. You can't cook, girl, can't ever bake a cake. But can I treat your booty like a restaurant and steak and shake? But I seen you, girl, know that you made my day. If we ever had something going on, I'ma pay the way. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. I can feel the shit when it be deep up in my soul, yeah. If you are a demon, hope you reaping what you sow, yeah. If you talking to me, hope you speaking in some code, yeah. The way that I be seeing shit is so clear. The water and the seas, look, we gon' go there. Why you wanna be with me with no bread? I just wanna sticky lick with no hair. You just gotta keep the G and no stand. Girl, you know your feet just smell like toe jam. We can walk the beaches and just hold hands. You ain't gotta be alone. I know you got your best friend. I know you rather text them. But next time you send a message, I just wanna be your best friend. But not your man, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Worth it, bitch. If it's worth it, bitch. Worth it. Tell me if it's worth it, yeah. Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? Can you twerk it, bitch? Can you twerk it? There you go, round, there's going down. But not your man. But not your man.
Now, we're going to get into what we actually got to break down as far as everything go through a full cycle. Everything is a full cycle. Don't ever forget it. Why you say that, Hello? Why you say that, Uriel? Why you say that, Flight Boss? Why you say that, Dolo? I said, I'm going to tell you why I said that. I ain't going to tell you no more. I pay your money when I feel like, that. I'll pay your money when I feel that. Tell what the fuck. So he ain't pay me my mother money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why I said that. Hey, anytime there's a new moon, the moon sign right before the sun sign represent the sign or the position the sun was just in. Things have become a full cycle. So that is that you know that's on that magnitude, the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, there's an essence. Stuff is in a full cycle. Stuff takes its course and take a full cycle. Something has a starting point, has an expiration date. Through that little life process and deterioration process, summer and fall, summer, autumn, the Veya. Make sure you get your life together. You know what I'm saying? Break it down to the fourth and the sixth dimension. Mentally, things you can, sometimes it condenses enough you can see it, like the clouds, the sun. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it condenses more to that before you can feel it. 1, 2, and third dimension, but you feel the wind breeze and stuff. You see the light rays. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You see a full cycle. We getting ready to talk about astrology, astronomy right now. You see the full, so 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, spiritual world things, God created things, take a full course of a full cycle. 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, mentally, if you there, you can see the sun and the moon be taking full cycles. 1, 2, and third dimension and stuff, you had a little lamb rock. Say a little goddamn tree stump in front of your guy. Once upon a time, that tree was big and strong. It was big and strong. Had a starter point, had an expiration date. Guess what? Spring come back around. Suddenly got another tree in the backyard. Got a little bush in the back. You know what I'm saying? Real, that's all good. Look, God show us real good. If you get away from God, there's something wrong with you. Because you got away from God. Know what I'm saying? You need some book to tell you it's going to be 6 a.m. in the morning and stuff like that. You ain't even got to know it's called 6 a.m. You just know this the time this happened. Oh, I said that's the time this happened. Yo, that's it. Y'all be getting lost in circumstances and stuff. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Just sit back and, oh, this the time this happened. Y'all get lost in words. Y'all would have 2,000-year-old arguments about words. And if the sun gizzards walked on water or not. They walked on the cloud water. Gizzards walked on water like that, so we take mini walks down here. But in the sky, we seen that from the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Mentally, mankind, womankind, sun and moon could walk on water. 1, 2, and third dimension, we can try our best. It'd be white, be light on your toes. Light on your toes from the Wabanaki, or you get light on them. You know what I'm saying? Get light on your toes, so you be on the east portion of your mind. Wabanaki, you know what I'm saying? Get eastern part, get light on your toes and start get all heavy. You get in the north yellow world, west red world, you know what I'm saying? Bottom the black world, the Beko world and stuff like that. We ain't even talk about races of people and continents and stuff. We talking about you just get lost sometimes, and you got lost in your potential or what you thought was a horizon for you. You get ready to meet your fall, but you think you get ready to be that position that you ain't in at the moment. It's just mentally. It's a character you create outside, and then the expiration date, the death of it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to meet your maker and stuff because that's your fruit. That's your fruit. So what you emanate from the Arachnosois, that's where you get all flunked out at and stuff. You think you got a good imagination that God want to see them water flows in the no, God don't want to see them imaginations in this world. Only you do. So only you and Bill Cosby. Oh, I've heard of that. Y'all Bill Cosby sweatsuits. Oh, I've heard of that. But yeah, I just want to get y'all mind right so you can know everything is in a full circle. So when you understand things take full cycles, right? This is where we even get spheres from. So you got heavenly bodies, heavenly spheres and things of that nature. You got 7 of them too. And for the most part, these not actually planets or bodies themselves as far as how y'all looking at the sun and moon. But they're influences that condense. These are part of the realm of realities that condense to become the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension that you can be aware of, but you can't pluck it out and weigh no light ray. You can't pluck it and weigh no cloud. You got to wait till the clouds, condense and be a more heavier version than what it already is. From masculine to feminine. Water. Now you could weigh some water or whatever the case may be. Alright, you're seeing that spectrum play out in many other ways too that y'all just don't understand and stuff like that. So what make you think light rays ain't condensing to become the cloud? You know what I'm saying? What make you think the sun ain't just a hot cloud that we call on the east, because that's where it's emanating 24/7. So it's always daytime, and it's only a nighttime for you based upon your time zone and geographical location. Or will be no such thing as time zones, and you will be able to experience daytime, someone on another continent experiencing nighttime. You being able to experience springtime, somebody else on another continent experiencing fall time. It will be no such thing. So this is how we get in the equinox. You know, I said I'm rolling in the equinox on the speaker, whatever Acosta said. I said a screeching box, or whatever he was saying. On the diplomatic immunity intro, whatever Acosta was saying. I'm rolling through the equinox, and my sneaks were right, whatever he was saying. On the streets and blocks. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you gotta understand that's what y'all be in y'all mind and stuff. All of these things are formalities. So when we even get into like analyzing, right? A person who can't analyze right, we'll think that from the first starting point or the spectrum of before that take its full cycle. Even if we ain't thinking about the sun itself. We the movers, not these things. The sun and the moon ain't the movers. We the movers. You see what I'm saying? So based upon us moving the right way, we get to accumulate, formulate, and expand and cultivate the land and the mind land the right way. Esoteric landscaping. So you know when a person ain't being able to intellectually think right and things of that nature, you might have to be that person to give that person information and ideas and stuff like that. Okay, now you starting to own your own light ray pocket that will we somehow right now call Mercury. Right? And we're gonna give you order. We're gonna give you circumstances, and we're gonna piggyback off this because even if you want to look at the old Aztec whales and stuff like that, this is what they was doing too. You know what I'm saying? The South, the whole all natives, and things of that nature. But it's the medicine whale, so you have to understand the pockets that the sun be in, even when the sun ain't there. Don't think it's something there though. It's not something there. We're the mover or whatever. So you're like the influence. The day you born, you know what I'm saying? And the energy and the influence you carry goes beyond. You are heavily bodied. Animals are heavily bodies. Bugs are heavily bodies and things of that nature. Insects, you know what I'm saying? Bacteria, parasite, all these things play out like the form of the cloud accumulating to become one thing. You got a bunch of parasites, bacteria that accumulate. First, you got a bunch of mentalities to accumulate. Then it comes into fleshly fluid and your winds and your breaths. Then that accumulate. Then that become your blood fleshly fluids and things and your genomes and stuff like that. Then that accumulate, right? So we're seeing a whole bunch of things. Multiple things come together to become one thing. So when each of these things accumulate from the chakra areas into the area, I know y'all hate that word chakra, but the mental areas that condense and become the fleshly fluid, those be the same areas your organs at. So if you have sexual thoughts, you have those organs aroused. If you have intellectual thoughts, you have the brain. Oh, I have a mental orgasm. If you have caring thoughts and things and emotions, you have that chakra. I mean, if you want to call them mentalities or whatever the case, for lack of better words, or have the case, you know what I'm saying? The organ get aroused, and you sound like Peter Parker, your heart Peter Pat, like his grandma told him when he fell in love with what's her name? Was it Jade? I forgot homegirl name. She couldn't act worth a lick. They could have found it. See, Sony be messing up stuff. Warner Brothers be messing up. These cats mess up everything. Stop taking people's franchises and think y'all know what to do with it. Because y'all like some fans and y'all went to college and then y'all got into little business and you like, yeah, it's good in my hands. These new Batman comic books going to be good in my hands. No, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't. Yeah, we're gonna make sure Superman prospers. Superman might not be making no more money no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank God for Marvel Comics that they like check Sony a little bit. They like, hold on, man. You know what I'm saying? We see what Warner be doing. We see everybody. Let's get Spidey back. Get Spidey back. You know what I'm saying? We're working on Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? They ain't messing up. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the goddamn DC right now, they don't know what they doing and stuff like that. They trying to make a whole new universe that we ain't trying to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into details. So I want to stay monetized. I don't want to get into details and stuff like that. Y'all see Buzz Lightyear and all that. We don't need no more Snoop Doggy Dog. Snoop Doggy Doggy Dog. You know what I'm saying? Yogi Bear Crip. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no more interviews with Snoop Dogg and all. You know what I'm saying? Hell, stop. We don't be quiet. Just let people make their money. And then night and we ride. Real stop. What are you going to be enlightened to? Because look, everything going to be a full cycle. The moon is going to remind us where the sun was just at. So for the most part, as these moon phases, it's like the seconds and the minutes on the hand. But for the most part, then you got the hour. And the hour represents, if you want to go into Africana studies and stuff like that, that British man has colonized y'all, Horus. I said horse. Little horse. That's a horse. Oh, horse. What old boy said? Oh, said he ain't dropped no records in a minute. I forgot his name. Oh, none of that. Yo, Gotti's artist. When he said, oh, none of that. Horse. Horse. Oh, said a little horse scope. You'll scope it out, horse. Oh, none of that. And they're gonna scope out little man, little woman, little jiggly titties in the skies. Oh, better than that. And then when you just look at that, then you start to understand, oh, okay, that's Africana astrology and stuff. These cats, all these cats be playing with little kids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Orishis and Osiris. Oh, but of that. Cats tweaking. Become a Pan-African today. All you got to do is sound lost. I'm saying next in command, Hebrew Israel, and other than that. But all of these are just different spectrums of the sky. I'm giving y'all the natural stuff, how we do it in North America. You know what I'm saying? No, there ain't no over-exaggeration. And it might be like a little Sonic the Hedgehog gem you pull from, if you get 50 coins and go through the little, save thing, you know what I'm saying? Jump to the little stars and stuff. A lot of y'all don't do that. Get the gem. It's the same thing and stuff. So you bring it from the dream world, boom, you bring it in reality. You know something somebody don't know. Somebody else might be a little slow. That's why on Sonic 2, you always got tails behind you and stuff like that. Old tails, bored with 2 tails and stuff. Oh, it's a little system retardation. Oh, none of that. And no other fox born with 2 tails but fox, but tails. I'm tails born with 2. You know what I'm saying? Born with 2 tails. Oh, none of that. Anybody else are born with 8 fingers, 7 toes and stuff? We're gonna start looking at that as something else. Why we ain't look at that playing Sonic though? Tails born with 2 tails. Something wrong. No wonder his tail's slow. I said, no wonder if you need a second player or something like that, you can like barely control it or not. You know what I'm saying? The screen is pass it up. You know what I'm saying? The person don't even want to play no more as a second player. You don't even want to play no more. The screen keep passing up. You got to like slow down. You got to think for others. That's Sonic and stuff. You just rather play Sonic by yourself, Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Got somebody slow behind you, like slow retarded. Oh, for that. I'm saying I think that was a psyop. There's too many retarded people right now. That just might have been a psyop, because that was a lot of people's favorite games. That was one of my favorite games. I almost was retarded. So I can see how these things be playing out in reality. Get your coffee game on. Coffee sticky. Get your coffee sticky. Yo, I see how these things play out in reality. I see. You know what I'm saying? But look, check it out. Right, as the moon leave from goddamn Scorpio, Scorpio is reminding us where the sun was just at. So whatever mistake that you was making, and then you let the minutes and the seconds lead up, aka these is like the phases throughout the days. Even though the sun, if you want to call it stationary, be there for those 30 degrees, 30 days or whatever, you're going to experience that energy of what you're seeing. But what's being expressed is going to be the moon. So the moon is what we're reacting to. It just looks like the sun. So at the whole time of the period, as the sun in Sagittarius right now, we may be seeing things through the filtering system and what we want to act through as far as how to be wise, or the wiser way to look at something, or the different angle about something, angel, or a different moral system or something like that to make something better, however the case may be. You know what I'm saying? If we was in the Aries time, we may be seeing things more through a determined area, or a determined space, or seeing things more through a personal space, or an independent space, or passionate, or competitive. You know what I'm saying? It got a little bit like that also when it was in Scorpio, but just the things you was being competitive about, or the things you was being motivated about, was slightly different. Aries, first house type shit, type stuff. Scorpio, 8th house type stuff, or however the case may be. And that's where we just left from. So for the most part, those interactions and experiences, we were supposed to know the same thing based upon the moon leading up. And the moon was in a sign based upon leading up to the new moon in Scorpio, in the sign that the sun was previously in, which was Libra. So we were supposed to know what kind of relationships we dealing with, because if we didn't know, and we had that mutable or fixed way of communicating, and not that cardinal way of communicating, initiating, so we could know what's unbalanced or fair or not, then it could be possible that we're in a negative situation. And Scorpio would have showed us that, as the new moon would have went into Scorpio, leaving and reminded us in Libra, don't trust everybody. The things that you was trying to gain fairness and balance with was the very same things that was creating unfairness and balance in your life. You might have communicated too mutable, aka said some things you wasn't supposed to, release some information you wasn't supposed to about yourself or others, and it's getting ready to bite you in the butt if it haven't already, as that new moon was rising up. So I'm just giving y'all examples of what y'all may have already experienced if y'all was keeping y'all dream journals and y'all physical journals and stuff like that. Cause a lot of people be faking the funk when they be talking about spirituality and stuff like that. Spirituality ain't got nothing to do with y'all religion and none of that. It's just like a discipline system, and you're acting accordingly of God. God wiggle and jiggle. You know what I'm saying? Or wouldn't exist. You know what I'm saying? And keep it 100. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? When we start to look at, as the moon went into Libra, sun was in Scorpio, or whatever the case may be, as that new moon, and it was showing us or if you was in the dark about a relationship or how you was relating in some way, shape, or form. And it would have showed you if you was the person in the back, these individuals would have probably realized it because you're the person that they're networking, or vice versa. You would have, is this blurry? You would have realized that for yourself. So you would have been in a situation where you would have start to realize that your way of communicating was probably too mutable, Gemini, or too fixed, Aquarius, and you was in a learning process of having to do it more cardinal. And if you was a Libra, you was just the example of what that representation was. And if you was the Scorpio, you was the person going through it. You see what I'm saying? So you might have had a person, even if they wasn't a Libra in your life, but y'all have created like Libra scenarios together. Whether that's a person you network with, a person that y'all balance each other out in some type of way, shape, or form. That would have been a person that happened with. But for the most part, as the sun get ready to go into Capricorn, but we get ready to experience another new moon, and Sagittarius is going to share those energies and things based upon, a leap year and how things be going, and every 4 years you got to keep a calculation of that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to show you the realization of, are you wise or not, based upon, did you get out of some grudge? Did you get out of some darkness? Did you get out of some animosity? Did you get out of some transformative energy? Are you still feeling funky about something that transformed a little bit beforehand that probably was out of your control and you feel like you can't do alone, or you need some assistance by, however the case may be? Like, all these energies right now is going to be showing you, did you make the wise decision, or are you on the foolish side of things, or whatever the case may be. So it's going to play out in things like Scorpio, however the case, where people might be in secret competition with you, and things of that nature. People might think you got a grudge with them or something like that. You might not even be thinking about them, or however the case. You know what I'm saying? People just mind their business and stuff like that. As the moon in Scorpio right now, everybody more in their passions, motivations, their desires, their sexual energies, their depths of things and stuff like that, and things that they want to put behind them, and things that they want to rejuvenate or recharge and give some rebirth to, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But people who can't do that, they stay in a grudge, or stay in a funk, or stay in a held back situation based upon not letting go something, or however the case may be, or staying attached to something that was done to them, based upon not letting that go. So you're building internal animosity, internal grudge, or however the case. That sets your life back though, and you might not be knowing how it accumulate. There'll be things that go on in the next day, next 10 minutes, pardon me, my French, next 10 minutes and stuff like that you could have been doing, and it could have been positive stuff added to whatever your creative goals was, but you was thinking about your get back, or putting in your 2 cents, or what was just done to you, and things of that nature. Then 10 minutes go to 20 minutes, 20 minutes go to 2 hours, 2 hours go to half of your day. Now half of the month went towards things that was on your mind that ultimately bend down, motivate your adrenaline. It becomes your adrenaline, your thoughts and feelings, and it becomes your motivations, and ultimately become your actions. And then for the most part, a lot of your actions went towards bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how a lot of y'all just got out of relationships, especially if it ended on a bad note and stuff like that, and you find yourself calling off of work and sleeping outside of somebody's goddamn house or apartment or some shit like that, or mansion or whatever, or gated community and shit like that, and things, and then getting ready to lose your goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? Ready to lose your goddamn job because you ain't got no goddamn sense. So a lot of times, y'all be in those type of perspectives already, just not having someone to break it down in a simple way like that. But for the most part, as the moon going into Scorpio right now, and it start to have that lead up, right now you're going to be reminded, which you should have already been experiencing at the beginning of the month, as the sun transitioned from Scorpio to Sagittarius. So as it went into Sagittarius, boom, the minute and the second clock starts over, which is the moon phases, and the sun locally moves a house every 2 hours, but for the most part, it take a whole 30 degree or 30 days, and then it has those nakshatras, those asterisms, those pockets, what we call weeks. But for the most part, and that's when we get into the fixed star energy too, because the weeks is fixed or whatever. So even though we shift and make leap years and things of that nature, but for us to calculate it and make sure we're keeping track of it, that's a quality of the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension energy of fixed. Tapping into, there's a such thing as things could be fixed and rooted before it get to its deterioration and transitioning spot. Birth and then growth has to be rooted in something first. That's why you plant a seed and then it grows a root and things of that nature. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Then we act those qualities out into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. So that's why a lot of times it's important for you, when you're going for your goals, to utilize forms of consistency, because that'll be the energy that being rooted into something is best manufactured in y'all lack of knowledge down here on this earth, and y'all still got a bunch of words in the encyclopedia. The best word to attach to the spiritual world of that, if you want to plant, get rooted into something, plant a seed, spiritual world, get rooted in it, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, and physically play out consistency. Right now, you know you planting a seed into the wrong area that's going to grow bad root and fruit. If you start to have the same experiences of planting a seed, but the interactions and the results you're getting from yourself and others is stubbornness, right? So we all doing the same thing over and over, but for the most part, you can get positive reactions or negative reactions. So we're stabilizing something, rooting something, getting rooted into something, getting our feet wet, stabilizing something. Then for the most part, in one perspective, it may be seen as positive. So when a person keep doing the same thing, it's considered consistency. One may be considered a person in hell because they're doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that they're gonna get different results. And the whole reason they need different results in the first place, because the first premise is wrong. So for the most part, that's insanity. So that's stubbornness, right? But yet both individuals is doing the same thing. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. So when you understand it like that, we all are utilizing these things as abilities. So when you look at life as abilities, that's thought too. So you want to make sure you look at thought as a ability, a power, or whatever the case may be. Not something that you just have to interpret the external world. And then for the most part, you're not using your mind. Your mind is getting used. And then you start to look at the world in reverse through the opposite form of the mirror. You are the mirror, thinking you be in the mirror, and things of that nature. And then for the most part, y'all just learn about life, really just learning about yourself. And getting the wrong idea about it and stuff like that, and self-projecting all over the place and looking crazy like these online shields. But for the most part, this is what everybody gonna be enlightened to, as far as a belief, a moral system, a religion, especially a faulty one, right? You're gonna start to look at these things like they're not useful, and they actually kind of put you in some type of bondage in some type of way that don't allow you to go to certain goals that you see yourself doing and you see other individuals doing and things of that nature. And you can't seem to tie the two together of why you are attaching this moral system to yourself to prevent yourself to go for that job, that relationship, that circumstance, that business, that house, that entrepreneurship, or whatever the case may be, right? You got all these different reasons that you're going to start to look at like those reasons don't even mean anything. And then you're going to start looking at those reasons like they're actually stopping you in some way, shape, or form. And then you're going to start to either feel down on yourself or start to throw that dead, because once something get into its expiration date, which that's a mental form, that's a child of yours, right? Now you got to shed it. Now it ain't what we do, is how we do it. A lot of times people build unnecessary animosity and gear energy towards unwarranted individuals in their life that they got some connection with and things of that nature. So you'll start to make up reasons of why you have to blame this individual, why you couldn't see something a certain way that you see it better now. And then for the most part, this person will be getting their spiritual ass kicked by you, and depending on if they can uphold it or not, due to the fact of them having their own life, not knowing what's going on, knowing what's going on, or playing tit for tat with you, however they handle it, for the snowball effect to go down further, or whatever the case may be, is going to be the determining factor of how y'all relationship going to end up being. But eventually you're going to start to realize you was just going through some internal stuff and things of that nature, and didn't know how to release the dead weight, but you was going through a releasing system. And that's a quality in the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension spiritually, just for all of us. 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, your mind is going through that process. It's an old and outdated mind state that's a condensed collection of thoughts and feelings, no longer useful. And if your spirit hold on to it and try to give it new thoughts and feelings inside of that womb and give it life, you give it some dead weight life. So you keep trying to experience something that don't got no spark. It's like a dodo bird that ain't gonna take off, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. You just get stuck in it. And then for the most part, that bend in as a lot of times that's like organ implosion. You'll get stuck, and if that dead mentality is dead, it don't produce a lot of blood and fluid no more. So the more you stay in that mentality, you start to dry up with your blood and fluid. And now since your fleshly fluids dry up, now you start to get into hormonal imbalances and things of that nature. And then for the most part, if you start to overcompensate with other things too much, then you start to develop tissue death and gangrene internally, and then you won't start experiencing it until like years down the line, when it starts to take effect outwardly and stuff like that. Then you ain't gonna know what to do and stuff like that. But it's all a mind thing, you know what I'm saying? But your mind basically is where your spirit is crafting things at. You know what I'm saying? So that's what your mind is, what your spirit is crafting. So it represents where your spiritual space is at, where your soul is at. Your mind represents where your soul is at. Your soul is just your individual spirit. Spirit is just a different term for multiple. And then, for the most part, those fleshly fruits, I call it mental fruits, it bend in and become fleshly fluids, and then it becomes your adrenaline, and it becomes how you're shaping organs and things of that nature, and then how you interact also, and then your vibe, and you're the expression of it too physically. But it just represents where you spiritually at. So we know if a person in a spiritual fruitful place or if a person in a negative place, so they need mental and physical external assistance in some way, shape, or form. Oh, I thought I was blurry for a second. So these is the internal medicines, right? Let's say if you're lacking vitamins and stuff like that, this is how you produce them. This is how you produce the carbons, the calciums, the potassiums, the vitamin D's, the magnesiums and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about when you was a kid, the things you did that made you tired and you couldn't finish all the rides at Disney World or whatever the case may be, right? Your spirit was in a space and your mind was in that space, creating so many thoughts and feelings of what you're going to do, almost till you burnt yourself out. You had so much blood that bent in, you was extremely hyper. You only got to get on 2 roller coasters and went to sleep because you ate too much cotton candy and stuff like that. But for the most part, it started there. We need to have these type of spiritual trainings in y'all public schools too, because I got it in mind. But for the most part, these is things that help you understand the spirit makes the mind, and the mind condense and become the fleshly fluid in your organs. And your organs is what everybody is expressing as a self-projection. You know what I'm saying? So your external energy is low for all of us because we're in a feminine world where we're all receiving. So we have to learn how to a small piece of masculine to add on to receive to put into something that's much greater or whatever the case may be. So make sure you put your footprints in the sand also, as they said in the Bible. So for the most part, here's the thing. As the sun get ready to transition and we get ready to experience the winter solstice, the last Vay, Yahweh, that's spring, summer, fall, winter, from this, I think the French perspective or the one of them perspectives and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's walking Tonka from North American perspective and stuff like that. So when you get into that area, right, it puts you in a perspective of knowing that it's we're after harvesting season and we're getting into, did you harvest enough, and are you going to be able to mentally and physically from that harvesting quality survive through the winter season and things of that nature. So that means you harvest good mentalities, not no dead mentalities like egos and stuff like that, because there's a lot of things that before it was an ego, that mentality was able to shine and bend down as adrenaline, and you be able to express it throughout that time of the year and stuff like that, even throughout hunting and stuff. But during the winter time and stuff like that, it has to play out a little different and stuff like that. So you can't be all out and showboaty and stuff just from a mental perspective and stuff. So you have to know how to harvest and harness yourself, and that play out as good character and good nature, and good mentality in other areas beyond being boastful or beyond being braggadocious and stuff like that, or being in your ego about because you could shoot the football longer than somebody or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you get into these energies themselves, it's just letting us know that you have to make sure that you have maintained all that mental fruit. So physically, it would have played out like that already. You know what I'm saying? And then individuals that's into the same things you into going to need more of your assistance for them to be able to survive through even a season, even if you stay in an area that ain't got no snow or whatever the case may be. It's not always about that and stuff. Like, you ever been around somebody that always got something, right? It might not be, and then you might be like, why I can't always have that or whatever. They disciplinary actions might be a little better than yours. So it ain't what they got, is how they got it, right? How they do it, or whatever the case may be. And when you understand that, you won't be comparing and contrasting in areas, especially when y'all get into, if y'all like lost in celebrities and shit like that. I mean stuff like that. And then yeah, I've been trying to park my lane. But y'all been lost in celebrities and stuff, so you might think a lot of the stuff that they got was like free, and then you go to your local store or something like that, they may got it and pay an arm and a leg for it or whatever the case. So it's like get you out of those energies so you can realize, like, just get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Before you just start to realize there's other stuff going on, but beyond what you see. Believe half of what you see. Sometimes none of what you hear, depending on who you listening to. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you listen to. Now believe everything you hear if you listening to me. You know what I'm saying? Believe everything. You know what I'm saying? Because God, what I'm saying is from the spiritual world. It ain't even no words for what I'm saying. So thank God you got some words for it. Thank God there's a person here that can craft it in y'all lost languages and stuff like that and present it to y'all in a way that you can kind of understand it a little bit. Just a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Just a little bit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that energy or whatever the case. And if a person is doing it more for God anyway, it ain't got nothing to do with that thing. It got something to do with whatever that person doing, and God see fit for that person to have that piece of that artillery along with other artilleries that person using to be in a cool spot to continue to plant that fruit that God want the individuals to do. Now, when a person start to do things for their self-serving energy, they can be utilizing the same thing that another individual have. I don't care if it's money. I don't care if it's a bad habit, a drug, or whatever the case may be. It'll be in the same context as stubborn, other than consistent. And then you ain't got no God with you. You got yourself. So it becomes harder and harder for you to maintain it or whatever the case may be. And then for the most part, everybody see how it's destroying you because you never had nothing in the first place that you was doing, and everything that built you up to do that thing is just a part of it. You never was something. So you have to put yourself into a position that God can use you. You know what I'm saying? And if God can't use you, then God ain't gonna give you whatever you need for you to sustain yourself in that area. So, the only thing that's separating you and God is the universe, the thing, the womb, our mentalities and the abilities that we all have, or whatever the case may be, or have. So it's like a spiritual space. So you have to separate from forms. And when you get out of your physical and your mental, you get into this naked space. So now you in the space of all space, space within space. That's God. So whatever thought you create there will be one of a kind and unique, but tethered to your consciousness of your individuality that you already been producing. So it's your version of a kind of concept that kind of God will go, but it's like your version or whatever the case may be. And then for the most part, that's when you bring that into the universe, your mind, use that mind you just created there and bring it into your current mind based on the makeup that's already from that type of mechanism. And then for the most part, present it through your flesh, you do something for God. So when you do something for God, God do something for you. So you expand the universe for God. You brought some new thing that's similar to the thing that's already here, so we could decipher what's right or wrong, so that can expand and the previous thing could swallow up inside of it, and that thing could be more broad in its lighter stage before it collect with that add-on, also previous add-on like a memory, and then it condense, and now we got a more broader memory reality. That's us doing something for God, and when you do something for God, God do something for you. So you have peace, right? So you have peace in the holy, holy, holy. It's like it's always three. Peace is, as a spiritual space, you're an individual soul. So when you was in a holy, holy, holy space, the space within all space, the spirit within all spirit, the soul within all soul, or whatever the case may be, you were just a little piece of you was a piece within that. Then when you made your mind your puzzle piece in it, the puzzle part, and then for the most part brought it out, that was a piece of God or whatever that you brought that for your help, your assistance, or whatever the case may be. So now in the physical world, what you just did for God brought a piece of God here. God give you a sense of peace, whether it's a form of some physical thing that you can have in your arena or your locality or whatever the case may be. I'm looking for another word. But for the most part, there's an object you can have, or a person, place, or thing, or a circumstance, or a situation, something that's tangible, or whatever, that you can have that represent peace. And then in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, your spirit is inside of a mind that don't got a whole bunch of other thoughts and feelings and that collect you to steer you into other directions, because that's what a spaceship is. So you're able to maintain that peace that's positive. And then for the most part, you are a piece of the spirit of God as a representation also, because you got that ability of doing that. So you know how to always get back and forth from that ladder. You know what I'm saying? It's like an esoteric ladder. So when you look at it like that, I don't want you to look at things like linear though. Look at things as you expand and condense. And when you're within it, then you can look at directions like up, down, left, right. So if you was to look at it linear or whatever, expansion will be up, left, and forward. Going down the ladder, so going up the ladder will be forward, up, and left, and going down the ladder will be right, down, and back. And these are characters before they're directions. Before they become directions, they're just characters. So things appear to be moving or whatever, but as spirits, we're just emanating from the inside out. And from the inside out, we create the existence of expansion. And when you create from the inside out, that awareness is the first substance, your mind. So your space automatically is inside of what you created from your space from the inside out, being no thing. You created something, and then that's your mind. So we created the existence of internal. So we created the existence of expansion and then contraction before we expanded into something and contract into something. We create these concepts first. So as a spirit, we create expansion, and then it became left, up, forward. It just appears that thing's doing that, but it's just we're creating, emanating, and then the same thing we emanate, we inside of because we was nothing. So that awareness is us being aware, and that becomes a substance. That awareness is the first substance. So now that substance allows separation of space, and for there to be a left, there has to be a right. So we have to understand awareness is your first body, or you're going to be lost in foggy land, like or get into some concept of we don't know everything. It's not about we don't know everything. It ain't what you know, it's how you know it. How you know something, that's you can know everything. You know what I'm saying? You can know you don't know for, so you can know that there's a concept of, and then you put yourself through these circumstances to be able to expand what you know. So if I know I don't know what 4 plus 4 is, I know I'm going to manifest a situation for me to have to learn 4 plus 4. You get it? It's like that. You have to put yourself in a spiritual space, and then you develop the mentality that then that becomes 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, a swimming pool. Then it becomes experiences in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. And if you're not too lost in biases and what's right or wrong or whatever the case be, you're able to understand exactly what's going. And even if the situation out on a percentage scale of what's considered right or wrong to the flesh, you know how to separate from a percentage scale on the flip side of it, from the mirror side of it, what's right or wrong from the mental. And then you know how to decipher from that also from the spiritual world, and know that you're just expanding, you're emanating, and you're inside of what you're emanating, and you're having shared realities with other spirits doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we can all experience the same thing, because it's all of our creation. We all got that ability. So when you know that, oh, that's my maker, my mind. So before you get into heaven or hell, when a person meet their maker, when you meet your maker, right, you're meeting your first earth, your Lilith, your first collection of thoughts. When you had men, this thought, this idea, children, then they all came together and became a womb for the future thoughts that you're going to have. And that's how we start making organs, because that's the first form of condensity. But that's when you just have the first womb, a mind. A mind is a collection of thoughts, and it's get ready to produce a feeling and an emotion. So that's your first, as a spirit, experiencing what a touch is, what a feel is. You know what I'm saying? But in this reality, it's just touching. You're touching yourself. You're inside of yourself. You emanate it, and you're inside of what you just emanated. And you want to spread it out so it can become a beach. You know what I'm saying? It's not just dark. So you're giving your birth out. So, and you know, same way how a person get born and grow, how I be telling y'all, that's the form of hell. You could get, if you make your mind too stuck on something, you get trapped in that mind and think it's the physical form of it, even if the physical form went through its expiration date. You don't know how to make a birth, life, deterioration, expiration process again. You get stuck in one of the 4 corners. You get stuck in a Wabanakia, or you get stuck in a Muskaki, or a Skipakia, or you get stuck in a Muskaki, or you get stuck in a Debeko. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be the white world, the blue-green world, the red world, or the black world. You know what I'm saying? And the black world is when the organ is finalized. Wintertime, or Africa and vice versa. Yeah, if you want to look at it geographically wise and stuff like that. The red world, right, is the emotion, because the woman is next to the flesh. So that'd be North America, South America, Central America, right? Native American. So that's the endios, the inner world, right? So they're more internal. I'm more internal. You see what I'm saying? So the woman is, or Uriel, or the Western Hemisphere, and the sun always being in that pocket 24/7, not the East. It's the Western. So for the most part, this would be the feminine side of the man, and then for the most part, this is the more spiritual or the internal over here. Woo, woo, woo. And then for the most part, then you get into the what may have the mentality though, the logic, the yellow world, the Asian, if you want to look at it physically. But in the mental world, I'm just breaking it. They just really don't have anything to do with the physical, but I'm showing you how I look at it, or how natives look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's basically, if you're constructing it, when you think about people coming from the East on a boat, we already got a concept of this. It's like the bearded man, white bearded man. We're not talking about white man though. But if we actually see a boat and some pale-faced people, before the term white, pale-faced people come over here, we're gonna call them Wapanakian. You know what I'm saying? But the first kind of interaction is gonna be like, should we treat these people all right? Because it looked like something that got something to do with totally something else in our mind, but they came from the physical location, and we had interactions like that just on native lands by other tribes with the same energy, just not the pale face. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. But at the same time, then that'd be like the high, or the high yellow, or the high intellect, or whatever the case may be. And then you get into the East, right? Or the starting of the first mixture condensing, or the first accumulation. So that you get the lacking of something. You know what I'm saying? Or the wa, before something is accumulated. You know what I'm saying? So everything is in reverse in the spiritual world. Things have to accumulate first, then it break down to physically for us to experience it, or whatever the case may be. So when you look at things backwards, you'll think the physical and think, oh, this came first, or this came last, or whatever. No, we're talking about a process, and the whole 1, 2, and 3rd dimension is a makeup of the process, not the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension having the same process in itself. It's in reverse. See what I'm saying? Because this is how you receive. So this is the physical, the feminine. The internal is actually the masculine. But y'all would think the internal is feminine, and you would think that the external is masculine, because you could touch it. But that's just y'all living backwards. As a spirit, the first man is your first externalization, your mind. So you're emanating, you're constantly pushing out thoughts that collect and become an emotion, and then that become organs and stuff like that. So that's in nature masculine. Then the masculine creates the womb. Many things come together and create one form. Then that's a womb. But first is a mind. Then once it been in, it becomes fleshly fluids and organs. So your spirit is inside of your mind, and your mind condense and become your organs and fleshly fluids. So your organs is inside of your layers that you build around it, which is still an organ, but then your tissues that you wrap around it, and things of that nature. See what I'm saying? So these are your natures coming into nature. These are your personalities coming into personhood. So these are your esoteric bodies coming into bodily form. So each thought form condense and become that organ, and as a spirit in your space, you be making that up, emanating left, right, up, and then being inside of it, right, down, back. So these are natures in itself. Right means connected to something. Downs mean being compressed after an accumulation. So the spirit being up under an accumulation, or being within an accumulation, right? And back means something behind, or resentment, before y'all look at it as positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? It's just qualities, right? But you're condensed in something that has a collection that became that. You emanated. Left means separation, or being in that space of emanating for the first time. Up means that after that emanation, right, where it's going, if you do that same thing again, emanate, it's still gonna look like you're doing it on the left. So where did the other thing go? It get pushed from the area it was just at because you created another thing there. So that push it, which y'all think is north or forward, potential or persevering, or you know what I'm saying? Horizon, where you could possibly move forward to, or whatever the case may be. So for the most part, it really ain't a left, up, or forward. It's just a hemisphere, and it really ain't a down, back, or right. It's just a hemisphere, and it's showing you that we emanate, and then we create the hemisphere, and we're inside of the hemisphere that we just created for ourselves, and that's contraction. And we created that quality. And then the more it condensed, we get to do this amongst each other, to portal each other here, to experience each other, and that's how you have men fucking women. You know what I'm saying? Pardon me, y'all. Damn, it's about to be an hour already. All right, but look, check this out. So when it comes into, so let me get into the title there, because I'll be so spiritual. When I'll go live for a few days, I'm gonna finish the mixtape and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a lot of spiritual travels. I gotta put y'all on and stuff like that. Let me get to the title though. So for the most part, like I said, before we get into the solstice season or whatever, we're gonna experience the new moon, and I will do a new moon live stream too, and get into the little tricks and stuff like that because I'm clearing up a lot of stuff, so I can do some secrets and stuff like that. But those parts will be for the Patreon. Then little videos and stuff like that for the Archangel Uriel page. Then the Mastic Lodge page, gonna be breaking down the language or whatever the case may be. And then IG and everything else is gonna be setting up for what I got in the future or whatever I'm gonna do. But for the most part, like I said, when it comes into the new moon being a Sagittarius, it's gonna show us, are we the fool or are we wise, based upon whatever religion we was involved in, whatever morality that we was using, right? And it's gonna show us that we're putting false meanings on things, or if we got the right reasonings behind things, we're gonna start to experience more expansion. We're gonna start to experience the good qualities of, oh, we harvest right, and when the sun go into Capricorn or whatever the case may be, people are going to be needing our juice in some type of way. People are going to be needing our energy in some type of way, even down to physically and something like that, based upon something that we have interacted with, expressed with, people, places, and things, circumstances, job, business, and we had the wiser idea, or we woke up faster. The sooner the better. You know what I'm saying? The faster, the better. So even if you was in a flunky, foolish position, right? The more you're able to realize and get up out of it, the faster that you're able to get on your 1-2 than someone else who probably in the same position as you, but they ain't realize it and things of that nature. So a few weeks go down the line and you steps ahead of them and stuff. So the sooner the better. But pardon me. But as the moon go into Scorpio, it's gonna make us reevaluate. So we don't have no grudges. So we're not in the dark about something. So we're not in no situation of having secret animosity or whatever the case may be. Because if we keep holding that on, also as the sun get ready to go into 5 days from now and stuff like that, or 6, as the sun go into Capricorn, you're going to be froze in that emotion as the moon start to change. And the moon going to be changing, so you ain't got no choice but to use those energies. You're just going to be moons behind, phases behind, using new moon energies while the sun is in Capricorn, trying to take actions to make it look like Capricorn, doing things that you developed and experienced and manifested as the moon was in goddamn Scorpio, before even the new moon is Sagittarius and stuff like that. So you might be in an energy where whatever happened, you still got this animosity and this grudge. So it's still this Scorpio energy that you desire, or whatever the case. And then as the moon going to Sag, new moon, you still a fool, you ain't wise to nothing. Sun going to Capricorn, moon going to goddamn it, all these other signs and stuff like that. And as the shift go up, Capricorn, you ain't stabilized, you ain't realized, so you're going to become unuseful. That emotion can't be used, so you're going to only be able to use it on yourself. Hopefully that mentality don't manifest physically, and you in the kitchen looking at sharp knives and things of that nature. As the moon going to Aquarius, you might start trying to get this Scorpio, and that's square, 90-degree angle. So you in some energy where you feel comfortable with, but it's animosity. You few moons back, and here you go trying to associate with other people to see if they feel you. Here you go trying to find anybody that feel you, and you're going to find a lot of people too. A lot of people that feel you, to the point that y'all going to do the same thing to each other once all y'all get y'all he and out and key and ha and out and stuff like that. Whatever, how long it take, a week or two. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna realize y'all wasn't that cool either. Y'all was just trauma bonding and couldn't wait to whatever the last people did to y'all for y'all to be around each other, talking the way y'all talking now, thinking y'all getting over. Y'all can't wait to find another fool to do it with. And it's probably one of y'all doing it with each other. And then for the most part, the moon gonna go in the goddamn Pisces. You gonna realize you was in a delusion, your emotions all bruised and stuff. Here, then the moon gonna go into Aries while the sun is in Capricorn. That's another square. You know what I'm saying? You're going to start feeling like you need to compete now, or you in some passion, or then you're going to get your sexual energy or your motivation, show your dependence about something or whatever like that, and get ready to go broke about it or something like that because you want to use money for it. Use something else. You know what I'm saying? Use some Capricorn energy or something like that. Use a status or something like that that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that. And you ain't got shit. As soon as it's time for you to put your feet to the fire or whatever the case may be, then you go have to rush out and get it and go broke or something like that. Now you just can't do stuff, nothing. You mad at everybody, and now you alone. You know what I'm saying? Independence. It was selfish or something like. You know what I'm saying? Then the moon went into Taurus. Yeah, now you unstable. Why does it keep going freezing in and out? Hold on. Okay, yeah. Then the moon will go into Taurus. Then you gonna realize you ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all over the place stuff. You're gonna be like, dang, I'm unstable in my life. I'm insecure. I'm stubborn. I ain't consistent. Then the moon gonna go into Gemini. People gonna start talking about you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gonna think people being two-faced or whatever the case may be. Then the moon gonna go into Cancer and stuff. You might lose your home. You might ain't got no home, or you might be emotionally distressed or something like that. Emotions, your mood is at the highest level possible. Nerves all over the place. Moon going to Leo. You on the negative side of it. You don't want to be seen. You don't want no attention, nothing. You don't, the moon going to Leo like, oh, nah. And the sun going to be in Capricorn too, because you ain't going to have nothing to show for nothing. You're like, oh, nah. I can't be used. I can't use nobody. I don't look like no boss. I ain't a boss bitch. Or whatever the case is, male or female, or whatever the case. The men might even just act like a woman. You know what I'm saying? They'll go hide somewhere, be all their emotions, like they got a plunger up their ass or something like that. They always in some mood or something like that. Character all flawed now. Moon going to Virgo. Now they worrying now. They did everything that a person do. Something. This person taking offense or something like that. Now. Moon going to Libra on the opposite end. They ain't got no balance. They feel like they ain't got no friends and stuff like that. They being all negative to all they goddamn balanced friends and stuff. Life is all unbalanced. Moon going to goddamn Scorpio and stuff. They in the dark. Hopefully they ain't in no kitchen nowhere. They in the dark. Hopefully they ain't in no basement. You know what I'm saying? However the case may be. Either. Then the moon gonna go into Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, damn, I'm a fool. I've been a fool this whole time. I'm a fool. I ain't wise. Why I ain't watching our what's wrong with me and stuff like that? Then get ready for that new moon in Capricorn. Still gonna be broke, still gonna be unuseful. Still ain't gonna be no boss. Still ain't gonna be no boss, bitch. How about that? I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. Fight boss, bitch, you know. But show. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. I'm gonna follow that. Erecta Swa, Hell, Hold, Die, Yellow Hoop, Massasoit, Mama the Toy. And